of intent within the electrical universe. Motion and intention are closely linked because intention is to do with the thought processes, and the thought processes are in motion. Whether people are aware or not, their thoughts have a motion, so the thought travels somewhere. We have static mind and vibrant moving thought. The occultists of old used to say that the strongest thing you can do, the most powerful thing you can do, is to intend the mind. So when you intend the mind on, or you focus the mind on an objective, you create motion, because the intention governs the attention. So the power of the intention is a mental thing, it's a mind thing, it's a spiritual thing, and this leads through to the act of motion. Motion and intention within that, in that context, are able to become creative and expressive because we live in an electric universe. Joe?
Yeah, creativity is a big word, and creativity is something we all feel like we can do. And I think this stems from the intention of emotion that lies within it, and you express that motion to become an emotion, like a piece of artwork or a piece of music.
Unless we're blocked, in which case we feel our creativity isn't working for us.
Well,
something's not in motion.
A lot of creativity nowadays is used for corporate use. So it tends to be predefined. It's what's needed.
It's put into a logical context, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's taken and it's put up against the latest car or the latest health product or the latest whatever it is. And all this creativity that's come from a mind of someone in an office gets used for the wrong reasons.
Not always.
Not always, no, but it's growing and growing the more and more over the last 10 years. And true creativity is an acceptance of an idea from the craziest thing to the simplest thing that work.
It is. I mean, inventors use it, don't they? And if you want to invent something.
Nikola Tesla had motion all the time. Everything he did was with passion, with intent. The drive he had and the creativity he had to think beyond the box.
Can we talk about the difference between motion and emotion?
I think it's as simple as putting it as past and present.
It is, I think so.
It's as simple as that. The motion. It's like I always put a picture of a runner on the running blocks. A couple of seconds before the race starts, he drives focus through himself.
That's the intention. Yeah.
That's the intention.
Yeah.
And then the motion that comes is his intent of motion as he runs the 100 metres. Afterwards, he can become emotional about it.
Yes.
Because it's happened.
Yes.
And this is where emotion comes from. Which in some cases is a very dangerous thing, but in some cases it's a very good thing.
I would like to just say emotion. We live in a very emotional age when people confuse emotion and feeling. And actually they're not the same thing, because an emotion is a memory of a past feeling, whereas a feeling is something which is completely spontaneous of that second. Yeah. And people can be driven by their emotions because they remember nostalgically the sensations of the body through past feeling, which is really emotion.
Yeah. Well, emotion, it's the feeling that was. And if you have too much of that emotion, you become that motion itself.
I think people get possessed by their emotions.
Yes, they do.
Because it's another way of being hooked up totally to their memory, to their cellular bodily memory, as well as their kind of more intellectual memory.
Yeah.
Is that they're driven by that need to connect with something, and they don't feel safe unless they're experiencing some emotion.
Well, emotion, it tends to divide the mind and the body. And I think this is why it's so widespread today, because if you're putting your thoughts into something that's happened like 5 weeks ago or 5 months ago,
or 5 years ago, or 50 years ago,
yeah.
or 5 lifetimes ago.
That's it.
It's all one momentum.
It's separated from where you are now, which is the motion.
Yes.
So that's the division within yourself. So
Yes.
I think if you can focus on your own motions and life in daily life, and just witness your emotions, don't get hooked on them, then you'll always be prepared for things.
I think it's good to remember as well that in terms of motion, there is no separation. This is why telepathy works. This is why synchronicity works. This is why people can't have a thought about somebody and they've not seen for ages, and the next thing is they get an email or a phone call from that person. Because in the mental world, in the mental dimensions, thought is probably one of the fastest motions in existence, actually.
It's what should connect us all. We should.
Well, it does connect us all, but it's how.
It's not. It's our acceptance of it.
Exactly. This is where the intention comes in, I think, because if you have a pure thought of somebody, you will actually connect to them more than if you have thoughts all tangled with your own emotion.
Yeah.
Emotion and intent within the electric universe they're just so powerful. If people can, if we can all sort of understand these things, the emotion and the intent and the motion of intent, the emotional baggage which actually slows down the intent of emotion. For instance, when people have a thought of, I need to do this, however, look how I failed last time, look how it hurt me last time, look what the connotations are. The emotion is coming in as a kind of third negative ingredient.
But it's taking over the emotion because you're thinking it's like, oh, that happened to me last time, so I can't do that again.
Yeah.
And already it's told the story that's not been told,
this is it. Emotion is memory, but there's only a difference between the word emotion and motion. There's only one letter difference, which is the E. So motion within an electric universe is happening all the time. It's happening via the subconscious as well as the conscious. It's happening via the collective unconscious as well. And it's happening in frequencies and in ways that we're not actually aware of. We are actually moving somewhere. Nothing is static. Everything is in flux. And that motion is all about us.
Motion doesn't stand still.
No.
Not for anything or anyone.
No.
It has to move forward all the time.
Exactly.
And I think if we get that mindset in our own lives, then we can live better quality lives. Because the past and the future.
Can you explain what you mean by that mindset?
Well, when you think about things in the past, like we were saying a minute ago, the past can often dictate the outcome of the present. Like saying someone has a bad relationship with someone, remembering that emotion, if you like, has painted a picture of a new emotion that could take place.
Yes.
So it's hard to get it out of your mind with the current way we think.
Yeah.
Whereas the intent of the motion, if we can all deal with it and all use it, it helps you deal with the here and now. So it puts the past way back in its place where it should be.
But
and that's in the past.
Yes.
It shouldn't affect today's decision.
Now, to talk about the physics of it, the motion, as we're explaining it, the motion, the sheer power of motion on all levels, but all ultimately boiling down or basing to a frequency, is only possible because we live in a really highly charged electric universe.
Yes.
Isn't it?
It feeds, the planet feeds us, it gives us the existence that we have today on this planet.
It does. And the frequency is picking up on the planet, the consciousness, the vibration of every human vibrating, every group of humans vibrating as one group or as a mass, and the mass vibration of all consciousness is picking up in frequency to an incredible extent.
This is what affects the world today.
Yes.
You watch the news and something terrible happens, and then everybody that's watching the news has a terrible thought. That thought becomes powerful in one person, never mind a million people that are watching the same thing.
Yeah, it becomes a mass consciousness.
Yeah, this is what it is.
And that is something in motion. To resist that motion is within the individual willpower to do. But it's hard to remember that actually we can do it.
It's a choice.
It is a choice. And we talked about that a lot in Thought and Mentality. But the electric universe and motion and intent, wow, yes. Very, very cutting edge stuff.
Yeah, people in life who just deal with things, just do it. Just do it, like Nike's slogan, just do it.
Yeah.
That kind of mentality gets people a long, long way in life.
Yes, I think it does.
Because
I
not
think it
thinking
does.
about it.
I think it does. The rehearsal days, in some sense, are over. We've spent many lifetimes preparing and evolving and rehearsing for things which now just have to be put into practice.
Yes.
And the motion is with us to be able to do it. The force is with us. Okay, that's all today on the Electric Universe. Thank you.